Hi, I'm Cherie Yanek, Churchill Librarian, and I'm really excited to read to you And So the Monkey Laughed. This book is written by Julian Bound and it's illustrated by Ann Lachieze. I hope you enjoy this interesting story. Enjoy walking your own path because you never know who you might meet along the way. The boy stepped from his home as the sun rose to start a new day. Feeling warm sunlight touch his cheeks, he knew there and then he wanted an adventure. He also knew where he would find one and walk to a nearby jungle opening. Standing at the beginning of a pathway leading onwards between towering palm trees, the boy was certain the dusty jungle trail would take him to the adventures he sought. Glancing back at his small home where his family were all still fast asleep, he felt the pull of exploring on him again. His gaze returned to the path ahead, and with one footstep forward, he left all he knew behind. Look what's going on right here. Sunbeams lit the boy's way as he walked beneath a tall green canopy. Continuing forwards, he listened to the rustle and crackles far beyond the trees and bushes lining his path. Each sound told of a jungle animal waking up and getting ready for their day ahead. I wonder if jungle animals brush their teeth first thing in the morning. These sounds did not scare the boy at all. In fact, they only added to his adventure. Yet there was one thing that which did bother him. He was hungry. It was well past his breakfast time, and his tummy began to rumble as loud as the animals he could hear in the distance. Aware the answer to his hunger lay all around him, the boy began to look for the fruits the jungle had to offer. He stopped as the leaves in the bushes ahead began to shake. Quickly hiding behind a tree, the boy watched a monkey appear from the bushes carrying something in his hand. It was a banana. Exactly what the boy had been searching for. The monkey placed the banana down on a tree stump at the edge of the path before disappearing back into the jungle. The boy's tummy rumbled once more, and even though he knew it was not his to take, he walked over to the banana and picked it up. He was about to eat it when the bush shook more, and the monkey reappeared before him. Unsure of what to do, instead of returning the banana, the boy put it in his back pocket. I don't know if that's the best idea. What do you think? The monkey looked to the tree stump where his breakfast had been, and then to the boy. "Hello," he said. "Have you by chance seen where my breakfast has gone?" The boy was too embarrassed to give the banana back and gave no reply as the monkey searched the jungle floor around them. "Oh, well," the monkey sat down on the tree stump and looked up on the boy. What brings you so deep in the jungle?" "I'm on an adventure," the boy said, relieved the monkey had not seen him take his breakfast. "An adventure?" The monkey's eyes widened. "How I so enjoy adventures." "You do?" "Oh, yes, more than anything." The monkey laughed. "Tell me, are you alone on this journey?" The boy began to feel a little sad. Although he was enjoying walking the jungle path, at times he wondered what it would be like to have some company. The monkey understood. "I could join you on your adventure if you would like," he said. It didn't take long for the boy to decide, and he nodded. "Wonderful," the monkey said. "Shall we?" And together they walked the jungle path side by side. The boy and the monkey had not walked very far when a loud roar filled the air. Walking onwards, another roar came. This time it was much louder than the first, and on rounding the jungle path's gentle curve, they found who was making all the noise. The boy looked at the tiger lying on the side of the path. "Oh dear," the monkey said. "Can you see what has happened?" First looking into the tiger's bright green eyes, the boy's view flowed from the beast's white muzzle and long whiskers, and over its orange body lined with the blackest of stripes. Then he saw what had caused the animal's painful roars. Halfway along the animal's striped tail there was a big knot. The tiger reached for the knot again and roared in both frustration and pain. Can you imagine what it must be like to have a big knot in your tail? "His paws are much too big," the monkey said. "Smaller ones are needed to untie his tail." The boy stared into the tiger's eyes as the monkey spoke. "Smaller paws, like yours," told the boy. The boy looked at his hands, and then to the knot which had caused the tiger suffering. With all his courage, he stepped forwards and knelt down to the tiger's tail. Reaching forward, he took the knot in his hand. The boy twisted and turned the knot as gently as he could, his tiny fingers prizing the tail apart bit by bit. At last the knot became looser and looser until with a little wriggle, the tiger's tail had become free and returned to how it should be. Well done, the monkey clapped. You've done it. As he rose to his feet, the tiger stood also. Standing over the boy, the tiger lowered his head and rubbed it across the boy's chest. A deep purr accompanied his thank you for untying his tail. With a nod to the monkey, the tiger walked into the jungle and vanished from sight. The monkey turned to the boy. You have just shown the most important of things, he said. I have, and what is that? The boy asked. Why, you have shown great kindness, the monkey told him. And that is the most important thing? Very much so, for kindness is all that truly matters. By being kind to others, we are also being kind to ourselves. Is that why I feel so happy right now? Yes, the monkey laughed. By showing your kindness, you now feel as happy and content as a tiger who no longer has a knot in his tail. As the boy began to understand what was being told, the monkey started to walk further down the jungle path. Come on, he called back. Let us continue our adventure. Let's see what happens next. Continuing together along their path, a clearing appeared beside the monkey and the boy. In the middle of where had once been trees was a small pond. The monkey pointed to the single crane stood in the pond center. Standing perfectly still on one leg, the bird's other leg rested tucked beneath a plume of white feathers tinged with gray edges. At first the boy thought the crane was sleeping. Then he saw its eyes blink. The crane is awake, the boy said in surprise. But he looks so peaceful. Yes, there is a reason for this, the monkey nodded. The boy looked to the crane. He tried to work out why the bird held such calm. Is it because he is a little sleepy? He asked. Far from it, the monkey smiled. He is simply living in the present moment. The present moment? Yes, the crane does not think of what happened yesterday, nor does he consider what will happen tomorrow. All there is to him is the here and now, the present moment. Is that why he looks so much at peace? The monkey nodded once more. On our adventure this morning, you have been doing exactly the same thing, he told the boy. So the boy is being in the present moment. Tell me, the monkey asked, have you enjoyed our journey together so far? Very much, the boy replied. And can you see how you acted the same as the crane? The boy shook his head. Can you see how you've also been living in the present moment? The monkey asked. Me? Yes, have you thought about the past this morning? The boy shook his head. And have you thought about the future? The boy shook his head again. You see, the monkey laughed, you have been living in the present moment all along, with no thoughts of what has been or what is to come. The boy realized the monkey was right. He'd enjoyed every moment that morning, from walking through the jungle to untying the tiger's tail. It was true. He had been living in the present moment, with no thoughts of the past or the future. He also realized how being in the present made him feel happy. The same peace within the crane came to him, and he and the monkey stood side by side in silence and watched as the crane raised its wings, left the pond, and flew effortlessly into the sky. Look at that snake. Leaving the pond behind, the monkey and the boy were soon flanked by trees on either side of them once more. Although the midday sun shone at its brightest, their jungle path darkened. The boy looked to the canopy above and saw how an increase of leaves blocked what had been the opening for rich, warm sunlight. Yet it seemed there was another reason for the dullness now surrounding him and the monkey, one he could not put his finger on, and his whole body gave a little shiver. The light dimmed a fraction more, and the boy froze to the spot as something wound its way out of the tree line toward him. The monkey stood aside as a gigantic snake slithered its way to them. The serpent came to a stop. Raising its green and red striped body, it lowered its huge head and stared at the boy. Ooh, how would you feel if you saw the snake? The boy was scared and gazed up to the snake's yellow eyes and forked tongue, which darted in and out from the creature's sly mouth. Showing no fear, the monkey stepped up to the snake. He patted its scaly neck softly to get its attention. The serpent left the boy and towered over the monkey, but then something strange happened. Both the monkey and the snake nodded to one another as if in agreement. With that, the snake lowered itself to the ground and curled up on one side of the path next to the boy and the monkey. The boy turned to the monkey. He scared me, he said. I don't like him. Are you scared? No, the monkey replied, although I once was long ago. You were? Yes, but then I found out why he tried to frighten me. The boy's eyes kept on the snake as the monkey continued. Someone scared him too many years ago. This is why he acts in such a way. It was not you personally he tried to scare. The snake is only acting on what happened to him once. This is why I forgave him, he said. You forgave him? Yes, the monkey smiled. As soon as I understood why he acted in such a way, so came my forgiveness toward him. Forgiveness with understanding, the boy said. Exactly, and this is called compassion. The monkey walked over to the snake and stroked his shiny scales. As the boy began to understand why the snake had tried to scare him, his forgiveness arrived also. Joining the monkey, the snake smiled up to them both. Do you like him now? The monkey asked the boy. Yes, now I understand his actions. The boy patted the snake, and then he and the monkey continued along their jungle trail, leaving the snake far behind them. As their path made a sharp curve, the boy knew he was halfway through his journey, and he was now headed homewards. Sunlight returned to the path, and he looked up to the blue skies. Something else caught his attention. The trees were full of monkeys. He stopped and tried to count each one. It was an impossible task. It seemed every monkey could not sit still for a moment and jump endlessly from branch to branch. I was once like them, his friend said behind him, always leaping around, never able to sit still for a moment. How did you stop it? The boy asked. One day I was so tired from all the jumping around all the time, I just decided to sit still. Like the crane? Yes, and I felt peaceful and calm. From that day onwards, I could not return to a life of constantly jumping around. The boy recalled the calm crane in the middle of the pond. You were in the present moment, he said. Yes, like the crane, I became mindful of my surroundings. I no longer wanted to leap around and around, and I enjoyed being quiet and still a lot more. Remembering how calm the crane had been, the boy realized it was a much better way to be than rushing around as the monkeys above him continued to do so. Looking up to their constant movement, the boy didn't see another monkey creeping up behind him. It took the banana from the boy's back pocket and climbed high into the jungle canopy. Is that my breakfast? The boy's friend asked beside him. The boy blushed as the banana was being eaten above them. I know I shouldn't have taken it, the boy said. I am sorry. To his surprise, the one who accompanied him on his adventures began to laugh. I knew you had taken my breakfast, the monkey told him. And you weren't angry? No, because I could see how hungry you were. The boy remembered the snake who tried to scare him. So you understood why I took the banana, he said. You showed compassion toward me. Of that I did, the monkey replied, pointing up at the one who had taken the banana from the boy. The boy watched as the last of the banana being eaten. It looked delicious, and he felt sad it was no longer his to eat. Then he wondered if his friend felt the same sorrow when finding his breakfast had disappeared. Recalling how he had taken the banana that morning, the boy's cheeks glowed red as they left those still leaping from branch to branch and continued further along their path. The boy once again considered how his friend must have felt on seeing his breakfast had gone. The monkey knew the boy's thoughts. For every action we make, there is a consequence, he said. The monkey's words brought a new understanding to the boy. Because I took the banana that didn't belong to me, he said, I had the banana taken away from me. If we intentionally do something we know we shouldn't, then what we do eventually happens to us also. So if I do something bad, then something bad will happen to me? The boy asked. Yes, this is called karma, the monkey said, but before he could say anything more, the ground beneath them began to shake. What's happening? The boy called out. From the bushes, a long gray trunk with a white ivory tusk on either side weaved its way from between the leaves. This was followed by two enormous flapping ears until an elephant appeared on the jungle path and looked to the monkey and the boy with the tiny blue eyes below a fan of long eyelashes. The monkey stepped forward and whispered something to the elephant. The elephant's trunk lifted him up onto his back. The trunk then found the boy's waist, and before he knew it, he too sat beside the monkey, high up on the elephant's back. Wow. The elephant began to walk, and the boy looked out to the vast surrounding jungle. He smiled to the monkey who sat beside him. This is karma, too, the monkey said. It is, but this doesn't seem like a bad thing to happen. Karma works both ways, the monkey told the boy. So if I do something good, the boy asked, then something good will happen to me, too? Yes. Can you think about what good you have done to receive your ride homewards? The boy thought long and hard. It wasn't until he remembered the beginning of his journey that the answer came to him. The tiger, he said, when I untied his tail. Yes, that is right. By showing your kindness and helping the tiger in his dilemma, then that kindness is now being repaid by our new friend here. The monkey patted the top of the elephant's head. This caused the trunk, which had lifted them onto the animal's backs, to raise high in the air. The trunk reached high into a tree and pulled down 2 bananas from its branches. He gave one each to the monkey and the boy. Breakfast at last, the monkey laughed. Yes, at last, the boy laughed with him. The monkey and the boy's laughter echoed out across the jungle for all to hear and flowed down the path they had just walked together. Their laughter first went with the monkeys that had taught the boy about mindfulness and karma. Then it reached the snake, who taught him about forgiveness with understanding and what compassion meant. The laughter continued its course and found the crane that had returned to the pond and remained within the present moment, until at last, finding the tiger whose roars explained the acts of kindness shown to others and ourselves. Stepping from the jungle path, the elephant at last reached the boy's home. As the elephant's trunk lowered him down to the ground, the boy remembered all those he had met that day, as did he remember all he had learned from them and his new friend. Thank you for the adventure, he called up to the monkey still seated on the elephant's back. You are most welcome, he waved down to the boy. And thank you for the adventure, too, he added as the elephant turned back to the jungle. The boy watched them both disappear between the trees, and before he returned to his own home, he smiled on hearing the monkey's laughter far in the distance. So I hope you enjoyed this book, And So the Monkey Laughed. It's a lovely book teaching a lot of important lessons through some fun animal stories. Thanks for listening and keep on reading.